All right, welcome back. The editor-in-chief, Sports Day newspapers, Ben Alaya, joins us now. Ben, it's always good to have you join us. Welcome.
Yeah, it's always a nice time to be here, and Sisi, good to be here as always.
Okay,
and I like to start by saying the drama in Nigerian football is ongoing, and I hope that sooner or later it will be resolved, because only yesterday the sports minister's press secretary, Neka, issued a release saying that the vice president or acting president has not said anything, giving one party power over the other.
All right.
And so I like us to leave it at that.
So let's wait what's going to happen on Monday and see if the FIFA ban will go ahead or not. There's so many versions of the story right now.
No, because the acting president is a professor of law. And he will not contravene.
Ben, you were not there at the meeting. I wasn't there at the meeting. Is what we heard. That's what you're talking about. Let's move on. This is not part of our discussion for today.
It's all right.
Let's talk about the four continents now. Talking about the girls, who are out of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup right there in France. Oh, they tried to fight back in the second half, but then after conceding 2 goals from Spain, knowing that Spain haven't been to the semi-finals before, they needed it more. And actually, they are European champions. Under-19, the same girls who won the Under-19 championship, most of them actually here. You saw the progression you see the progression that we are talking about. But in Africa, we don't have anything like that. Why these girls get to play at the continental level before coming into the World Championship? Africa don't have that. Maybe CAF needs to look at this and stop talking about the politics of the game, but just focus on how girls can play more games and how the guys can play more games, and also the benefits that comes from football. Let it spread across. What's coming from the Men's World Cup can actually trickle down to the Women's World Cup, knowing that they don't have much sponsors, but then they can actually, share the bread and all that. But let's talk about the four continents now. They got to the quarterfinals. Unlike the last time, they couldn't even reach that. It was a group stage, but their performance last time, I think, for me, was better because they got 6 points, losing out, but then they played good football. But this time around, we've seen
only
the fact that they were trying to...
They had only 4 points. And I watched them yesterday. In the first half, they played badly, let's be honest, and they conceded 2 goals. In the second half, they tried to come up, and it was like it's only Rashida Dajibade who could, turn things around. But I think that the Spanish side, overall, were the better side, and they deserve to be in the semi-final. I think that going by the qualifiers in Africa and the result we got, we put so much hope. And the Minister of Sports, the NFF people, everybody was like, just do it, we will do it well. And they simply could not come to the party. And I think we will come back. It's a developmental tournament. I'd like to say it all over again. It's a developmental tournament. We'll come back. Can we transmute or transfer some of these players who are big into the main national team, the Super Falcons, so that they can, when Japan won the Women's World Cup, nobody expected them to have won it. China is a big footballing nation. Spain is a big footballing nation. Who says Nigeria cannot, build a strong Super Falcons? If we win the World Cup at the women's level, then we can clap for ourselves. If we had won it at the under-20 level, I don't think there was anything there. We've won several tournaments at the under-20 level. Even if we had not won the World Cup, we've been to the final several times. We've won
twice.
Twice. And then at the African level, we have won it almost uncountable times.
8 times now, talking about the senior team.
Under-20. Under-20.
There's
the Flying Eagles.
Okay, you're drifting away from the women and to the men. Can we stray back to the women? I'm saying, at least, I'm happy you just mentioned under-20 level in Africa. At least you have under-20 championship in Africa.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why don't we have for the women? I talk about Spain, they won the under-19 European Championship. Just look at how they play. You could see that cohesion, you could see the technicality, the gift, and everything all work well.
In your entry, you made an observation, which is that the amount of sponsorship that goes into men's football or It does not go to the women football.
Yeah, I know that.
And so...
But can you, I mean, if you decided to have it, I mean, we know it doesn't go, but there's a way you can actually share the money in a way that you can take at least, I know FIFA usually gives grants for a percentage of that, yes. If you're having, okay, 100, I mean, we have maybe 20 billion, for instance, you know, coming in as revenue after hosting the World Cup and all. You can have, okay, from that 20 billion, why not just have, we're not asking for 10. You can have like 5 billion. I mean, okay, channel it towards something developmental. I know FIFA usually give grants for women's football to African countries, but I don't know how much it is for Nigeria.
We have a running league for women in Nigeria.
Okay.
And it is from there that even these players were picked. And you were there at the last Super 4 in Benin City. You were there at the Agege Stadium when they played another Super 4.
Guinea, yeah.
So it's Aisha Falode, give her the credit. She's trying, and the NFF also is trying also to bring up, you know, new players who can. My own thinking is that going forward, can we just look at not winning under something tournaments? Under 17, under 20, discovering and transmitting them to the main national team, so that let's do something big like the Japanese did, which to me is still a surprise, and win the World Cup.
Okay.
We can win the World Cup. That is my thinking, and I think that we can do it. We have players.
To you, winning the World Cup is an evidence of growth?
Absolutely. Okay. It's not only an evidence of growth, it's an evidence that you have young players that you progressed. Because look at, even going back again, I'm sure Sisi will not like it, but going back again, if you look at the national team, how many times have we won the Under-17 World Cup? And we got, we have won the Under-17 World Cup better than any other country in the world. How many players are you seeing today in the Super Eagles? How many players, we've gone to the final of the Under-20 World Cup twice. How many players are you seeing? So we have to wake up to the reality that these are developmental tournaments, and
it's not a win at all cost.
It's not a win at all cost, and then bring the Ajibades of this world and the fantastic goalkeeper that we have, and then move them to the national team and start playing and thinking and hoping and wishing and training them to win the World Cup.
Okay. Right. Hopefully we can do that. Boy, I mean, before we look at the fixtures and just confirm the result and all that, don't you think if we don't have, you know, championship in Africa, that will actually, you know, prepare us at the world stage, that's still going to continue like this? I mean, Ghana, for instance, I mean, just group stage and there.
I think we'll keep seeing some of these embarrassing defeats and the quality of play. Some will even tell you we're probably lucky to even get
the quarterfinal.
So we need something that will show us our true state instead of being deceived. A lot of people, I laugh when a lot of people say, "Oh, you scored so many goals in the qualifier. Why did you do that work?" And I'll simply say, look at the quality of the play. So if it's a bit difficult for you to qualify to get into the Under-20 Championship, and a bit difficult to qualify from that of the 20, it might just raise your standard a little. But then we still have to go back to what we are doing
in Africa.
In Africa and the domestic leagues.
It's a challenge to CAF. Can CAF, because it's not a Nigerian thing now.
Yes.
We are trying our best.
Board.
We are doing a league. We are doing Super 4. We are doing Super Ds. We are doing all manner of.
Which is not really regular anyway.
Which is not regular, yes, but we are trying.
Okay.
But CAF is not doing anything. There's no African Women's League. If there's an African Women's League,
like the Champions League we have in Europe,
then we can start thinking and say, okay, we know the strong countries in Africa who plays women football: Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria, and
you can just have a six-nation tournament.
Yeah,
league.
CAF is not doing it.
Perfect. Okay.
So ask the CAF president to wake up.
Okay. All right. Let's get confirmation of the results that went down yesterday. Talking about France, of course, host nation, they are in the semi-finals also. Remember the final, and North Korea actually beat France 3-1, and North Korea won the championship. But in the quarter-final stage, France, via penalty, they won by a lone goal. Of course, Nigeria losing to Spain 2-1. And for today, it's going to be a strong, very, very strong one. Okay, confirmation of the result I just talked about. Penalty, France beating defending champion 1-0. And of course, you have Nigeria and Spain 2-1, a sad result then. Fixtures for today. England and Netherlands, that's the one I'm waiting for. And also Germany and Japan, a powerhouse when it comes to under 20 women's
These two matches
World Cup.
going to be very interesting, Ben. These two matches.
England and Netherlands. You see, the thing I'm beginning to like about England is that every tournament they go to these days, they always reach the semi-finals. It means the growth of football in England is, astronomical. It's on the high side. And I think the administration of football in that country, the FA, the leadership, and everybody must be praised. They are doing something well, and that is, we have to borrow a leave. A lot of our administrators have gone there and come back, and there's no leave that they brought back.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the Tigers now. From the Four Cornets who just couldn't cut it out right there in France. In Spain, hopefully the D Tigers will be able to do that. Remember, they are African champions. I mean, we can see everybody dance and all that, how they came to Lagos in the night and just dancing, winning the AfroBasket Championship. These are the girls in Atlanta, but they'll have their last training in Atlanta on Saturday before moving down to Lagos. Early hours of Monday morning, they should be in Lagos for preparations for the World Cup in Spain that is in September. But the thing is, they will begin their training on Tuesday, and according to the coach, that's the assistant coach now, talking about Peter Amedu, he says that one player will still be dropped because you have 14 players right now. And you can remember you have a new coach, Adora Alono, a new captain, and also a new coach, which people were not happy. I mean, having a coach who led them to winning, the first championship, and after how many years, being asked to leave because of some infighting and all that. You have a new coach there. And Peter Amedu is hoping that, the girls will get used to it. But also another thing is you still have some players in Lagos that will be joining them. We have Uju Goka, Nkem Akerewa, and Nkechi Akastoli, and all that. The three of them will be joining them in Lagos when training starts. Now, under a new coach, although you still have some of the technical crew with the girls, but that, don't you think it's going to affect them a little bit because Peter Amedu feels they're still adjusting to it?
No, majority of the players are professionals. They are based abroad and they've played together. However, the changes that I fear is having a new captain, if the former captain is still in the team, then we may have issues, because it's always like that. But, as African champions, I think that the team can go to the World Cup and do us proud. And they've shown it, even though they are in a very deadly group, the group is tight. If you check their group, the group is very tight, and they have to put on their best to ensure that they not only do Nigeria proud, they do Africa proud, because they are not representing even Nigeria alone, they are representing Africa as champions, and I think that they can do it. Like also the guys are doing now, the Tigers are also doing. I think that they can do well.
Okay, maybe they can do well.
All right, let's quickly take this one out of the way. Let's talk about La Liga, if we can't do that. All right, we'll go on a break. When we come back from that break, we'll quickly take that story on La Liga. Let's go on that break. Come back for more sports.